Hello and welcome to the Full On Football podcast. On tonight's show, we're going to be looking at the players that are out of favour. The players that you look at each week and you think, why aren't they in the team? Why they don't seem to play? Why they're on the bench? Why they're not used as you would expect? And we're going to get stuck into that tonight. First on the list, Ben, your biggest fan, Raheem Sterling.
My biggest fan? He's heard of me, has he?
Sorry, I've got that wrong.
Show.
Yeah, you're his biggest fan, Raheem Sterling. I'm not so much. I come around to your way of thinking to some extent. You're a huge fan of his. Last calendar year, he hasn't really played much for Pep's teams. I know he's back in now. Why do you think that is, and do you think he should be a stalwart in that team?
100%. Number one, I just think of all the players they've got, of the 25-man squad they've got there, if every player played every game, theoretically, obviously you can't do that, but if everybody did play every minute of every game, he'd score the most goals in that Man City side. Do you think, firstly, I'll ask you, would you agree with that?
Yes.
Who's the only one that would threaten him? Probably Jesus, Mahrez. He'd outscore Mahrez. I think that's fair.
I think Jesus would actually. I think Jesus would score a lot of goals. Was he given 38 games? I think he could easily score 25.
So the only one I can look at that could threaten him would be Jesus. But Sterling, 100% should be in the team. And I'm a big fan of Jack Grealish as well. And obviously I was calling for Grealish to be starting at the Euros, which obviously he didn't in every game. Didn't agree with it. I always think you should go with tournament form. But I do think, given a blank sheet of paper and asked to pick one, Grealish is nicer on the eye. Not trying to say he's better looking or anything. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just
but
saying
he
that.
Probably is. He probably just edges him.
I don't know. Sterling's a pretty strapping lad as well.
Yeah, he's got nice teeth as well.
Has he?
Very nice teeth.
been
Yeah.
looking a bit
I think he's had them done.
Has he?
You can see with anyone. I think you can tell when someone's teeth just look slightly different, and his are immaculate. And I don't remember them being. I just notice people's teeth. I'm jealous of people's teeth a lot.
Yeah.
And he's one that I think he's had them done because they are like immaculate. But carry on.
There you had it. Dentist Harry Aldridge. You do work for a dentist.
I do work for a dentist for him. Yeah. Portman Dental. Yeah.
There you go. Plug Darren Milne. That one's for you. Hey, but getting back onto the point, Raheem Sterling, I think Jack Grealish gives you a better match rating. If you've got one spot for left wing, by the way, again, another tangent, but Jack Grealish, I've always preferred him in the middle. Just want to put that in there. But if there's one spot for left wing, Jack Grealish gives you a better match rating. If they both play 10 games, I think Grealish gets the better of him in terms of player ratings. If 100 people rated him, he'd get a higher average rating than Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling would score more goals. There's no doubt about that.
Which goes against everything I believe in and everything I've always maintained about being effective. I'd go Grealish, going against everything I've always said. And it's on the basis that I've always maintained about Sterling. He's probably, as it stands right now, he will go down as arguably the greatest wide player to ever play for England.
Obviously, wide players in this day and age are very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Granted,
but in terms of that front three wide player, 100%. Yeah.
There aren't any. You look back to David Beckham, who was a wide player in inverted commas.
Wide midfielder,
yeah. The numbers that Sterling gets, the effect he has on a game is probably, you could argue, is superior to that in a lot of ways, in terms of the big tournaments as well, the performances he puts in. Despite all this, and he probably is one of the greatest wingers England have ever produced, I think he's one of the worst footballers in the team. Yeah, and which is why I just don't understand it. He frustrates the life out of me. His touch sometimes lets him down. He misses chances that you think, how does he not? How did he miss that? And then he finishes the game with 2 goals and they win 2-0.
Yeah, so again, it's back to the... If I was to pull it to you like this, if you had a player that literally couldn't kick a ball properly, they missed 25 one-on-ones a game, which is ridiculous, but I'm exaggerating a point to make a point, as you always say, right? Misses 25 one-on-ones per every game of football they play. That's obscene. But if they score 1 goal a game, that's invaluable. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and that's
Raheem
the trouble.
Sterling misses a lot of chances. Technical football, not great. You feel like he's probably the one in the side when they're passing it around all nice 1 and 2 touch. He's probably the one to give the ball away. He's frustrating, but his movement is in the top 5 in the world. His movement is outstanding. He's always in the right position. He scores a lot of poachers' goals. I love that because that's down to game intelligence. When Papi Cisse at Newcastle went on that scoring streak, scoring goals from 25 yards every week.
Incredible, yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to last because you can't keep scoring from 30 yards every week. Ridiculous goals. It's not. You can't maintain that. when Raheem Sterling scoring
You could argue
tap-ins
Dele
every
Alli.
week. Dele
Similar.
Alli, again, a lot of... Not as much as Papi Cisse, but there's... Yeah, okay, I'll take that on board.
Not the Papi Cisse only scored the audacious.
Yeah.
Dele Alli scores a hell of a lot of really, really good goals.
Scores headers as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like the header. But Raheem Sterling, most of his goals are tap-ins. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Yeah? He's in the right area. That's using your brain. You can consistently replicate that. Mm-hmm. And he does.
He does.
So he is frustrating, and he's not the best technical. You take his pace off him. It's all ifs and buts, but you take his pace off him. Yeah, he's probably not a great footballer, but he has got pace. Mm-hmm. So you look at Adama Traore on the other hand. Yeah, he's a handful. Yes, exciting to watch. Is he effective?
Yes.
You think he is?
Well, he's effective in terms of he affects a game of football. It doesn't always produce goals and assists and stuff. Which
in terms of end product,
No, end product, no.
They're the complete polar opposite. Adama Traore, Raheem Sterling. That's probably the sort of... People are making out that that's what Sterling's like, but he's not. He scores 20 goals a season. He scores 15 goals.
Yeah.
If he starts 38 games, you get a minimum of 15 goals in the league. And that, I rest my case there. That is why Raheem Sterling should start every game. I look at Pep Guardiola's tenure. I wouldn't mind betting that he's played more games of football than anyone else than Pep Guardiola, and was the main man for a lot of it. And was often, when they won a game by one goal, the man to get the goal.
Yeah, no, exactly, spot on. And that's another thing, and it's sort of... I look at Marcus Rashford, who I'm a big fan of. I don't see what Sterling's better than Rashford at, other than his movement and his professionalism. I would, his attitude, his application. Sterling's application is unquestionable. It's elite level. His attitude, his professionalism is superb. Rashford strikes the ball better. He's probably more powerful, more skillful. He's capable of the spectacular.
Yeah.
Better at most things you would feel, and that's been harsh on Sterling. Obviously, he's obviously very good. I understand them being a bit over the top.
He's got more ability than him. He's got more technical attributes from Raheem Sterling. Yeah. Who'd you pick?
You'd have to go Sterling despite the fact that he would miss a few chances over the course of 10 games, Rashford might get 6 chances and score 3 of them. Sterling would get 17 chances and score 10 of them. He would finish with probably double the amount of goals of Rashford.
Yeah.
On the basis that he might miss more, right place, right time, productivity, effectiveness, whatever you want to call it, and that's the dilemma, and that is the big dilemma. Obviously, at favour, but back in the team now. Another player at Manchester City, massively out of favour, was due to leave in the summer. Not sure why he was out of favour. Bernardo Silva. Probably player of the season so far, just behind Mo Salah, I would say. What a player. Yeah, Declan Rice as well. I think, those three I think are the 3 best. Bernardo Silva, what a player. He would start for every team in world football.
See, that's another one.
He would start for, I want to get this on record, he would start for every single team in world football.
Yeah.
There is not an elite team that he would not start for.
In 2 positions as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbelievable player. I echo your thoughts. I've never understood why he's not in the side every week. He should be one of the core players. I know they've got a lot of good players, and I know that De Bruyne's the man, and I know that Gundogan took that baton when De Bruyne was out, and I know Gundogan's the man, and I know they're sport for choice. But he really was out of favour. He was on the bench. He was unused sub. You're looking over a period of sort of 40 games and seeing that he's only started 10. I don't get it. Because not only is he technically superb, he's effective. He gets goals. He gets assists. Not only does he get goals and assists, he gets important goals. That title-winning season when Liverpool ran Man City close, Man United, draw in at Old Trafford. Who's the man to pop up with a goal? Bernardo Silva. Time and time again he does it. And not only that, his work rate.
Unbelievable.
His work rate's fantastic.
I think the game against Liverpool at the Etihad in the new year of that season, Liverpool were about 7 points clear, or I think they were 7 points clear going into the game. Sané scored, didn't he? It was the John Stones clearance off the line.
You got it.
Yeah, that game. Bernardo Silva, I think, broke the record for the furthest distance covered in a Premier League fixture. Not only did he cover every blade of grass, he ran the game.
He sprints though, doesn't he? Let's get this clear. He's not just jogging around covering distance. It's high intensity.
Yeah. Incredibly intense, incredibly selfless, and then has the composure and, like, I don't know about you, mate. Me and you play local football. We probably, we would say we don't work hard enough.
Yeah.
Half the reason is because when we do, we get the ball and we're like, well, I'm knackered now. You want me to do something with it? I'll just end up giving it to someone else. He gets the ball after doing all these doggies, and he'll take 3 or 4 players on.
Yeah.
He must be a manager's dream. And the season Liverpool ran them close. They won a domestic treble.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne missed a lot of that season injured.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva, other than Raheem Sterling, was probably the main man.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that season, domestic
I think that
treble.
is the order of it. Sterling, Bernardo Silva, yeah.
And Kevin De Bruyne was their best player. Make no mistake, if he was fit, he would have started every single game and he would have been first name on the team sheet. Bernardo Silva, he's a joke. He's an absolute joke. And he would, I echo it again, he would start for Paris Saint-Germain, he would start for Liverpool, and he would start for Bayern Munich.
100%. And do you know what's strange about it? Is you said to me, Pep Guardiola's playing games. I actually think he is to some degree. He's come out and said that he's the best player in the league. We'll play him then.
yeah. He wanted to sell him in the summer. It was incredible. Yeah, I don't get it. It is a game, and you don't know. A big slice of this is down to Pep. I make no qualms about it. Big slice of this is down to Pep. Bernardo Silva could play left wing, right wing, centre midfield, right centre midfield, attacking midfield, holding midfielder. You will get the same outcome. He will be 8.5 out of 10 every single week. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Fantastic player, and I don't ever want to see him on the bench again.
No, me neither.
Simple as that. I don't ever want to see him on the bench again. Another player that's out of favour, mate. And this one really is out of favour.
Cool.
I'm not even sure if he's good anymore, because he's been out of favour for that long. And that's Lacazette at Arsenal. Lacazette, wind the clock back. We'll take you back 2 years. Yes, I know 2 years is a long time in football. I get it. But he was a top striker.
Alexis Sanchez was good 2 years ago.
Was he?
No, 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Lacazette was a serious striker. I'll tell you what, controversial one. In terms of just raw finishing, I think he's one of the best finishers in the league. Mm-hmm. Striking a ball, I've never seen he strikes the ball cleanly every time.
He does, yeah.
And his finishing is incredible. Barry gets a minute at Arsenal now. Talk me through it.
No, unbelievable. I don't know why, because it's not like Aubameyang's. Aubameyang, for me, has been very, very average for about 2 years.
Since he signed that contract.
Yeah, since they gave him all the money in the world. It seems to be a bit of a trend at Arsenal. If you give someone big wages, they will just be appalling for the next God knows how long. So I don't know what he does have to do to start. I don't feel like he lets anyone down when he does start. He's very good with his back to goal as a lone striker.
Yeah,
I feel like he plays that role really well.
Yeah,
which obviously is a skill. Not many people can do it. There's a shortage of. You talk about elite level strikers, you could probably name 6. After that, you're thinking there's a big drop off. I'm not saying he's an elite striker, but I don't think there are a lot of better number 9s than him. I really don't.
When he was playing for Arsenal and he was fringe, like he'd start a game, next game he'd be on the bench, then he'd come on and score the winner and all of that, Probably going back about 2 years now. Time machine, living in the past. Mm-hmm. But I can't help but feel like at that time, Arsenal probably had 2 of the best 5 strikers in the league and only played one of them.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And it was baffling. And maybe it is a case of Lacazette's not good anymore. Give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
Because I don't see what... he's not going to lost his touch. His touch is incredible. He can finish the ball. You create enough chances. Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka. You just need someone up there to finish the ball. Aubameyang was that man. I don't doubt it. Again, at that period of time, he was one of the best 5 strikers in the world. He should have played too. But Lacazette, he's got to be given a chance. That's what I think, anyway.
No, I agree, mate. And there was a period, you're talking exactly what you said 2 years ago and living in the past. I used to say all the time, Man United should sell Martial and sign Lacazette. Lacazette wasn't playing a lot for Arsenal. He was probably exactly what we need now. We've got an embarrassment of number 9s in terms of you could have Mason Greenwood, Cristiano Ronaldo, Edison Cavani. Wouldn't quite work. But I don't think he's... A player like Edison Cavani, I don't think he's a million miles away from someone like an Edison Cavani in terms of his ability. I do. For Arsenal to think it's a bit of arrogance on Arsenal's part, not playing him. I think
Arsenal arrogance, never.
Yeah, and I do, mate. I think he's a great player, and I'd like to see him. I think he'd do a job. He'd probably start for Man City.
What a shout!
He would probably start for Man City, and would you take him over Bobby Firmino? I daren't say he'd outscore him, given 38 games. So we're talking about a player. I know neither team really plays a number 9, so it's sort of a false position. He probably starts for Man City, and he probably starts for Liverpool. On the basis of that, Lacazette is the most unused, underrated, underappreciated striker in world football.
He probably starts for the best team in the world, and he can't get a game for Arsenal.
Incredible. He must sit there. He must sit there at night thinking, what do I have to do?
Similarly, there's a player that played for a small Dutch side, you might have heard of him, Ajax. Mm-hmm. Got the Champions League semi-final, obviously got done by Tottenham. Ajax again this season looking like a good side. Come to another small club in Man United.
Yeah.
And is watching the likes of Fred, McTominay, Pogba, week after week performing. Don't get me wrong, Fred's been okay the last few games.
Yeah.
But it's been 18 months and cannot get a game. And that man is Verdon. Donny van de Beek. Talk to me. What can he do to get a game? Because he's a good footballer.
Yeah. Oh, mate. It's you've got, in teams, you have, so Eric Bailly I'm a big fan of. And he will watch Man United and think, what have I got to do to play? He'll watch Maguire stink the place out for a couple of weeks and think, surely I've got to have a chance. But Maguire for 18 months has been very good, albeit he's had a few bad months.
He is a good player. People just give him stick. He's on a bit of bad form. He's had an injury. He's a good player.
Diogo Dalot hasn't played a lot. Wan-Bissaka has been good for 18 months, but the last few months have been very poor. Fred, McTominay, Matic, over a period of 18 months, you think, none of you have done a lot. None of you have put in, none of you have won a game for your team, really, in 18 months. And then off the back of 18 average months, some good games. I'm not saying they've been bad, but they certainly haven't set the world alight. To then be appalling week after week, probably all season, and Donny van de Beek probably hasn't started a game. He started one league game. What? You're signing a player for 40 million euros, your only big signing of the summer 2020, and he hasn't hardly kicked a ball since the day he signed. 23-year-old, sought after, centre midfielder, really good footballing brain, likes one-touch football, forward passing,
covers a lot of ground.
Yeah. A lot of nous. You would expect him to play for, has been coached well. Watching Scott McTominay pass the ball sideways for 90 minutes, and Fred giving them the ball back, there's got to be a point where you just say, go on, we'll give you 5 starts, show us what you can do.
He's got to be given a go.
That's the thing. It's not even like they've gave him 5 games and he's been bad. But he's hardly started a game of football in 18 months. Why did they even sign him? I don't understand.
In 18 months, in that same period of time, had he been at Manchester City, would have he played more minutes of football?
100%.
And look at the competition in that midfield.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Rodri, Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Foden, even Grealish, the options they've got, Bernardo Silva, I've just been talking about Bernardo Silva, forgot him. The options they've got in that midfield, and you're telling me he'd got more game time playing for Man City than he has done for Man United. It is an embarrassment of riches. It's not been utilised, and I just cannot get my head around it. I don't know what he's done or what he hasn't done. I don't understand.
What would you can't stand Man United and you can't stand Paul Pogba, by the sounds of things. 6 years of average performances from Paul Pogba, yet Donny van de Beek doesn't get a sniff. That's what bugs me. Players like Paul Pogba. 6 years, by the way. 6 years of being very, very average.
That's half your career.
Half a career. 6 years at a club. Anthony Martial, another one. 6 years of being average. Yet people on social media who talk about Paul Pogba drive me insane. 6 years. 200 football matches of average performances. Yeah, he's going to come good. He's going to, he just needs the right manager. No, he doesn't. He is not going to... I don't care who you are. If you had a job and you didn't do your job for 6 years, you would have been sacked. You would have been sacked over and over and over again, and you would have not been given another opportunity. Donny van de Beek must watch Paul Pogba stink the place out. Try Rabona in front of... try and do a roll back or a Cruyff turn on the edge of our box and see, and he thinks, well, I wouldn't do that. I'm not saying Donny van de Beek's the answer. He must be better than what Man United have got. And I'm not saying Fred and McTominay don't have a future at the club. I'm not saying they're surplus to requirements. They can be good, but they need someone alongside him who is a good footballer, they are very good at the dirty side of the game, the bit that not many people are good at, by the way. Not many people can do what Scott McTominay and Fred do, the way they break up play, the energy. They are good at that, aren't they? Yeah. And I feel like in a good team, they would complement another player very well. I think that player could be Donny van de Beek, but he doesn't even get 20 minutes, half an hour at the end of a match. It's just stunning. It is stunning the way he's been treated. And I think, to be honest, as much as Solskjaer, I think is a really nice guy, and I know it hasn't worked out, and it was sad. One of the biggest things he did that I really disliked at Man United, I thought the way he treated Donny van de Beek was really, really poor.
I can't agree more with that. I just thought he should have been given a go. It can't have been any bloody worse, could it?
Would he play for Liverpool?
That's what I was going to come on to next. Do you know what, mate? Oxlade-Chamberlain's playing minutes at the moment. Naby Keita gets games.
That's true.
Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones. I think Van de Beek get a game at Liverpool. I don't think he'd be in the first three, but he'd definitely get a game.
He's probably number 4.
Probably number 4.
He's probably number 4. And, most of the Liverpool teams are sick note, really, so he would
Chelsea?
Probably...
You look at players like Loftus-Cheek getting games. You look at Sowell's had a couple of goes. Yeah. Not done well, but gets a go. Ross Bartley's had a game here and there.
Mate, and he is... I think he'd fit in really well to that Chelsea side, with a solid base behind him, a solid defensive unit. Players like Kante, Jorginho. I think he would be really, really good. And bear in mind, there's a lot of talk. When he did come to Man United, Van de Beek, he was basically signed on the dotted line for Real Madrid.
Yeah. And
changed last minute to come to United. This was a sought-after player.
Yeah.
That, for my money, just hasn't been given a chance. And I hope that, Wreck-It Ralph's in at United now. Quite a forward-thinking manager. I think he's the sort of player that Donny van de Beek's the sort of player that Ralph would like, with that sort of high-energy approach. Likes footballers, like people who can recycle the ball, get it forward quickly, pass the ball forward. So I hope that Donny van de Beek gets a chance, and all the players we've spoken about, the underrated 4 that we've spoken about, should be starting for their clubs.
Absolutely. Cheers for joining us, and hope you've been educated.